The most dangerous thing is not that people doubt what lies beyond their understanding. The most dangerous thing is when people believe that what they already know is the final boundary of reality. When that happens, anything that goes beyond familiar frameworks is immediately labeled as myth, superstition, or fantasy. Not because it is false, but because it makes people uncomfortable. And Isra and Miraj is one such event. Think about this for a moment. If someone today claimed that they traveled from Makkah to Jerusalem, then ascended beyond the seven heavens, witnessing paradise and hell, all within part of a single night, what would the modern world's first reaction be? Skepticism, mockery, rejection. People would say it violates physics, contradicts science, and cannot occur in a universe governed by strict laws. But have we ever paused to ask whether the problem lies with the event itself or with the way human beings are judging it? Throughout history, humanity has repeatedly confused what it knows with all that can possibly exist. There was a time when people believed the Earth was the center of the universe, and anyone who said otherwise was dismissed as insane. There was a time when time itself was believed to flow evenly and unchanging everywhere, until modern science was forced to admit that time can slow down, stretch, and even bend. So when facing Isra and Miraj, the real question is not whether it sounds reasonable, but whose standards we are using to judge it. The Quran never asks human beings to abandon reason. On the contrary, it constantly challenges the human intellect to expand, to be humble, and to accept that reality is far greater than what the senses and personal experience can contain. Isra and Miraj does not come to destroy reason, but to place reason in its proper position. A position that recognizes there are layers of existence human beings cannot reach on their own, unless the Creator allows it. For many people, the problem is not that they disbelieve in the Miraj, but that they unconsciously elevate physical laws to the highest authority, as if those laws exist independently of the one who created them. But if Allah is the one who established every law of the universe, why should those laws become a barrier to His power? When a person enters a video game, they are bound by its rules. The creator of the game is not. They can pause time, alter the environment, or move characters instantly. And if limited human beings can do this in a virtual world, why do we assume that the creator of the entire universe is constrained by laws He Himself designed? This is where Isra and Miraj begins to reveal its true depth. It is not merely a story about movement through space. It is a direct challenge to quiet human arrogance. It forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. The world does not operate according to the limits of our understanding, and science, as extraordinary as it is still only touching the surface of a far deeper reality. And to explore that reality together, welcome to Prophetic History Explained, where we do not simply retell history but uncover the deeper meanings behind events that reshaped humanity forever. If we stop here, Isra and Miraj may still seem unbelievable. But if you dare to go further, to question, even to examine your own limits, you will realize that the most shocking thing is not that Prophet Muhammad traveled beyond space and time, but that humanity has grown so accustomed to a small world that it has forgotten reality was created to extend far beyond imagination. If you want to understand why Isra and Miraj is not a legend, why it occurred at the darkest moment of the Prophet's life, and why it does not contradict reason when placed in its proper context, stay with us until the end of this video. And before we continue, subscribe to Prophetic History Explained to support the channel and help us continue bringing thoughtful, honest, and meaningful stories in the future. Isra and Miraj did not occur during a time of triumph, nor did it come as a reward for victory. It took place at a moment when, from a purely human perspective, a Prophet Muhammad was at his most fragile. His wife, the one who understood and supported him more than anyone else, had passed away. His uncle, who protected him from the hostility of Quraysh, was gone. Social protection collapsed, isolation intensified, and emotional pain had no refuge. In such a context, emotional collapse would be understandable, yet the opposite occurred. Not because the Prophet did not feel pain, but because his mission could not allow his heart to fall. Still, one thing must be made clear. The Miraj was not a temporary emotional comfort. It did not come to soothe pain and return life to normal. It came to prepare him for a stage that was deeper, broader, and far heavier. Prophet Muhammad was not sent to be a religious figure confined to Arabia or to a single era. He was sent as a teacher for all humanity, across civilizations, generations, and ways of thinking. To speak about life and death, suffering and justice, and realities beyond the physical world, such a teacher could not rely on theory alone. He had to witness them firsthand. Miraj, therefore, was not a personal privilege, but an unprecedented preparation. The Prophet was not only shown realities, he was positioned as the bearer of responsibility for guiding human understanding. His meetings with earlier prophets were not symbolic honors, but confirmations of a completed chain of missions and the transfer of a universal trust. There is deep logic here. A person may speak of war without stepping onto a battlefield, but their words will lack something essential. A person may speak of pain without experiencing loss, but they will never fully understand tears. Likewise, to teach about paradise and hell, life after death, and ultimate justice. Prophet Muhammad needed more than knowledge. He needed certainty. Miraj transformed knowledge into unshakable conviction. Notably, Allah granted Miraj not at a peak of power or support, but when every worldly support had been stripped away. This sends a powerful message. The greatest missions are built not on external strength, but on absolute connection with the Creator. When everything else disappears, that connection becomes pure and unmistakable. Miraj also answers a deeply human question. How can one person carry the burden of guiding humanity through lifelong opposition without collapsing? The answer is that he did not only see this world, he saw what lies beyond it. Once ultimate reality is witnessed, temporary worldly struggles lose their power to derail purpose. Thus, Miraj was not separate from the Prophet's life, but a turning point shaping everything that followed. He returned not to ease, but to deeper steadfastness. Opposition continued, but his inner anchor could no longer be shaken. Seen this way, Miraj is not a distant story to admire. It is a reminder that the darkest phases of life can mark the beginning of the greatest responsibilities, and that Allah prepares His chosen ones not through ease, but through profound understanding of existence itself. One of the greatest obstacles to accepting Isra and Miraj lies not in distance, but in how we understand time. We experience time as linear and fixed, forgetting that this perception is not absolute. The Quran challenges this assumption, after revealing that time differs across creation. Human time is not angelic time, and neither resembles the time of Allah. Modern science eventually echoed this realization. Time slows with speed, stretches near massive gravity, and behaves differently across conditions. If time itself is flexible, then experiencing countless events within a short earthly duration becomes far less absurd. Isra and Miraj was not a fast journey, but a journey outside linear time. Even in daily life, humans experience hints of this. Joy passes quickly. Pain drags endlessly. Dreams can span years in minutes. Miraj elevated this phenomenon to an entirely different level. The Prophet described Miraj not as a dream, but as a structured journey, distinguishing levels, encounters, and realities. This was not subconscious chaos, but experience in another framework of existence. Thus, the question shifts from how it happened to why we assume it could not. Time does not revolve around humanity, and the creator of time is bound by no measure. Here, Miraj reveals a profound message. Reality extends far beyond what we see. What we call impossible often reflects only our current limits. When the Quran mentions paths in the heavens, it is not poetic imagery, but insight into the structure of existence. The heavens are layered, ordered, and guarded. The Prophet's ascent followed this system. His stop in Jerusalem reflected not only spiritual meaning, but structural order within unseen reality. Reports mention a heavenly gate open that had never opened before. This suggests access points within creation permitted only for specific purposes. And these gates are not for curiosity, but for missions of cosmic significance. Modern physics now speaks of theoretical structures like wormholes, pathways through space and time. While still theoretical, such ideas already dismantle simplistic views of the universe. Miraj does not depend on science, but science increasingly accepts complexity once denied. Statements attributed to Ali about knowing heavenly paths more than earthly ones reflect a worldview rooted in revelation. Islam never treated the unseen as chaotic. It is structured, governed, and purposeful. Miraj allowed the Prophet to witness this directly. Thus, seeing paradise and hell becomes less paradoxical. If reality has multiple layers, what we call the future may already exist elsewhere. Miraj may have revealed outcomes beyond earthly time, not as premature judgment, but as present reality beyond our dimension. Caution is necessary. Revelation should not be reduced to scientific theory. Science evolves, revelation does not. The Quran offers signs, not equations. Miraj tests humility, not intelligence. Accepting layered reality opens awareness. Miraj reminds us that the universe holds depths humanity has only begun to touch. When Miraj ended, the Prophet returned to a world of hardship. This itself is a message. Miraj was never an escape. It was preparation. Among all he witnessed, the central gift was not cosmic knowledge, but Salah. 5 daily prayers reconnect humanity to its source. The Prophet ascended, but believers draw near by placing their foreheads on the ground. Salah is the believer's Miraj, not by recreating the heavens, but by opening an inner path beyond worldly noise. Miraj showed that physical laws do not limit Allah. Salah shows that human weakness does not imprison the soul. As long as one turns back, the path remains open. Miraj teaches that true knowledge produces humility, not arrogance. The Prophet returned not boasting, but more patient, compassionate, and devoted. Seen this way, Miraj becomes a mirror for every inner journey. In personal darkness, doors of understanding may open, not to escape reality, but to face it with clarity. Miraj ended in the heavens, but continues on earth through sincere prayer. When one bows in silence, time slows, the world fades, and the soul remembers it was created to return. The deepest lesson of Miraj is this: reaching one's limit may mark not an end, but the beginning of a higher awareness. Faith is not fleeing reality, but standing within it on firmer ground. In daily life, this lesson becomes practical. In hardship, one asks what is being taught. Salah becomes the anchor, reorganizing the heart and preserving identity. If you wish to explore more stories like Isra and Miraj, uncover the meanings behind events shaping faith, and apply them to modern life, join the Prophetic History Explained community. Together we study prophetic history, timeless spiritual lessons, and how to live with awareness and depth today. And if this content brings value, subscribe to support Prophetic History Explained. Your support helps these stories continue to be told, to reach hearts, and to spread light where meaning is still being sought.